So today I woke up at around 3:30 a.m., which is my usual waking up time. And for some reason I was thinking about how and when I started to wake up early in the morning like that. And whenever I tell people about it, I usually try not to, but whenever it comes up and I tell people, it usually surprises them. But what they don't realize is it's nothing special really. It's just about sleeping early and being obsessive about when you sleep and protecting that time that you go to bed. Because I never use alarm clocks, and when I wake up, I feel like I've rested. I feel like I don't even have enough sleep to sleep anymore. And so, thinking about how or when I started, I thought about high school, where if we had projects that had maybe tight deadlines or exams coming in boarding school, other people preferred to work late into the night, but I preferred to study in the morning because I felt like I was more energetic and all that. But now the biggest problem I had back then was I could not control my environment because there was many people. And so I couldn't sleep when I should have been sleeping so that waking up when I wanted to wake up would be easier. And so it was hit and miss for a long time. And then fast forward after high school, I went to Russia, was there, too much fun, too much partying, and I never really thought about the waking up early part. But I think 5 years in, I had had enough of all that, and I was thinking about who I wanted to become and where I wanted to end up. Because the whole time, the whole 5 years, it was just about finishing uni. But now, towards the end of uni, things were starting to get real because I was asking myself very many questions and whether or not I wanted to work in engineering and whether or not I could even get a job in that industry. I know I couldn't probably get a job in that industry in Russia because of the sensitivity of it, but maybe out of Russia. I don't know. And so when I started thinking like that, it brought me to this point where I decided that if I slept early, then I would avoid being awake when people wanted to go out or to have fun, through the night. And that would essentially help me avoid that. So I put my phone on silent, and whoever rang couldn't find me unless maybe they knew where I lived. And just like that, slowly by slowly, people stopped calling me for things that involved spending the evening out or going out late into the night. And so that worked out, but it brought me another problem, which was okay, I'm sleeping early, I'm sleeping at 8. By 3 a.m., I'm awake and I don't have any more sleep. And so, because I usually sleep about 7 hours, that's usually enough for me to feel well rested. And so I started to think about what I would do with all that time now, because here I am, I've woken up at 3. Sometimes I have classes, sometimes I have work in the morning, but I don't have anything before maybe 7 or 8. And so I had been curious about a couple of things, and it started with day trading. And so I started to study that and explore, read books, and listen to audiobooks in that time. And that got to a point where it got boring, and I went to the next thing. I bought a tablet back when Wacom was making tablets for art. Did some art, learned how to do digital art, and then left that, and so forth and so on. You get the point. But fast forward to now, I've learned so many different things, and yes, I think that time that I spent by myself and didn't know what to do with it, right? It helped me to discover that I was curious about very many things actually that I had not yet gotten around to exploring. But Now that really helps because I wake up even when I don't want to wake up. Even when I sleep later, I still wake up at the same time. And then now I have more specific things that I'm doing, very few things because I'm trying to cut off everything that I've done or explored or been curious about because I have a very big trail of unfinished projects that I want to break that cycle. I want to focus more on just a few things and do them for a long time in that time in the morning. And so I think the more important thing than waking up in the morning for the sake of it or to do work is having time or spending time, having time by yourself, spending time alone. I think it will teach you a lot about yourself that maybe in the noise of people and work and family and all that, right? You don't really get time to listen. And without listening, you will never know. But I think you are growing. You are growing and moving in a direction that maybe is not even of your choosing, but you can't even tell because you don't know. You don't pause to think about that, right? And so I think if for no other reason, I think waking up earlier when there's no distractions and nothing else, you can get to have time by yourself. And if you don't have things to do in to fill that time, even better because you can think about yesterday. You can think about how your day went. You can reflect on that, and maybe you learn a few things from that when you take a pause. But then maybe you're curious about a few things and you try to do one or two of them in that time. Or maybe you have dreams of going to work for yourself. You can use that time to learn the necessary skills to get you to the next point of that journey, and so forth and so on. And so I think what I'll leave you with more than anything else is just the fact that it's not really about waking up early, but it's about having time for yourself, by yourself, to be in silence if you need to, if you have to, but also to discover yourself and what you're curious about, and to maybe try to do those things that you're curious about before the day starts. So spend the most high quality time, the time when you're energetic, before the stresses of the day begin, to figure yourself out. Bye.